Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
What's wrong when you watch them? What's just fundamentally wrong with this team? A month ago, they were beating Virginia and they were, beating Michigan and Arkansas, and now they're losing. They've already lost 2 games in the American. What's wrong with this team as you see it?
Well, I wasn't concerned because it was I looked at it as a one-off, and I assumed that they would correct some things. Now I'm concerned. Um, the biggest reason why I'm concerned with Memphis is it's not just losing the game; it's how they're losing the game. This is an experienced team, and we go back last game. It was a late turnover, and then it was a mix-up on veteran guys on a switch. You lose that game. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to be a one-off. They're going to fix that. No, they come out tonight against Tulane, and you see similar things. You see, for a veteran group, this isn't a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. These are seniors and experienced guys. Even though they're new playing together, they're still experienced guys. They're blowing assignments. There's mental errors. I mean, the giving up a three late in the game on a baseline out of bounds.
Off.
It's like, I mean, not even a reversal. It's just straight inbounds, ball side, strong side. And you give up a three late in the game. I think, and again, and having said all that, the other issue that I have is that I never questioned them and thought they could shoot anyway. And the one thing we said about the last game, I thought they got exposed was because of their inability to shoot threes. And what I said to you was their kryptonite is zone.
Yep.
This team will struggle against zone. They got to figure out a way to start, figuring out play zone. And Caleb Mills' injuries, we said it. Hey, they had a couple of wins right after Caleb Mills got injured, but he was a guy that you knew could come in and get hot, carry your offense in certain moments, give you another complimentary score. Had obviously big game experience. He's gone for the year, so that puts a ton of pressure on Walton. We talked about from where's the 3-point shooting going to come from.
Yep.
He went down a little bit today. I don't know. I am. Memphis has a reason to be concerned. They're not defending the way they're capable of defending. I thought they was more creating havoc and turnovers and being real disruptive on the defensive end of the floor. They're no longer doing that. But some of that is because teams are zoning them and they're just controlling the pace of the game. And this Memphis team is not built to play against the zone. And guess what? If I'm in the league, I would play 35 minutes of zone against Memphis. I don't care if I play it or not. The only thing that would make teams go back, man, if you line up and play man in that league, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You don't have the athletes. You don't have and let them press and get after you. You're in trouble. And high major teams would be in trouble with that. But if you zone this team, I think they got issues.
Yeah, I agree. The zone is kind of what they struggle with. Something that they haven't really cracked today. And even you talk about a veteran team. Like I think their average age is almost 25. 14 for 22 from the free throw line. That's not indicative of a veteran team. And then today, 14 turnovers, 0 points off 14 turnovers. So that's right there. You're not locked in. You're not making the right play when you get the X possession, and that's was the story of the game. And down the stretch, when it's a 5-6 point game, 7-8 minutes left, like as a veteran team, you got to understand, like you got to get stops and you can blow this thing open. Just 2 or 3 more good defensive possessions. And like RC said, blown assignments. It's almost like they're like, it's Tulane. We'll be able to get back out of there. We'll be able to get out of this hole if we dig one. It's just Tulane. And the whole time now the lead evaporated. And you got to shoot 2 threes at the end of the game, and you don't make them. And your second loss in a row, they came down here to Tampa against USF and got them a season-defining win as well. So the target's on their back, and they're not handling it well right now.
I'll say this:
even Quinterly getting that flagrant one.
Yeah,
it's just.
that was in fairness, that was a bullshit flagrant. I mean.
No. Listen, it is. But it is. But he extended his arm. I'm only saying that's just the type of mistakes that they're making for a team with their level of experience late in games. Like that's a mistake you make, or you get caught up in that. in the first half or the first 5 minutes. But they're in these tight games. Let's be honest. It's not like they're blowing people away. They're in these
100%.
tight games, and they're just blowing too many assignments, man. You see two guys running one way, leaving guys open. You just see the lack of communication on the defensive end of the floor with these guys. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't the team that we saw, the first half of the season. And that's like the thing that's surprising.
It looks like the Budenholzer defense, because when, historically when I was playing, Jay Kidd was like a defensive coach. Budenholzer would be like, "Hey, coach, what are we doing this? Just keep going. Don't stop." That's what it looks like Penny's telling them. So they got to fix that.
Hey, I want to say one thing for the people from Memphis who are watching, because I know they're curious. And I think this applies not just to Memphis, but I think it applies to every team in college basketball now in 2024. There is such a thing as leaning too much on the transfer portal. There is such a thing, because Memphis brought in 9-10 new guys from the portal, and all of them super talented. I mean, you can go down the list, right? Caleb Mills, Naquan Tomlin, you can, Javon Quinterly, David Jones, Jaquan Walton. You can go down the list of all these guys who are super. Nick Jordan, accomplished. They've gotten it done at a high level at the Division I level in college basketball. But when you take all of them and you bring them into a situation at the same time, there's no continuity. There's no voice that rises above. There's no pecking order. And when you talk about a team that struggles with communication, which is clearly what this Memphis team is doing, I think you can point directly to that. And Penny's throwing his hands up and he's saying the game plan is great and we're doing, we're prepared and they're just not executing. That's because you threw a team together and there's no returners, and it's just new guys that don't know each other. And I think that's the cautionary tale here, in my opinion, is that you don't have that leadership that carries over. It's just a bunch of sort of mercenaries, and this is what the result looks like.
John, I'm going to push back on that, because that's college basketball right now, right? Like, everybody's bringing in guys in it. But when you bring in, there should be an advantage to bringing in experienced guys. Too. It doesn't matter how, because you look around the country, everybody's bringing in a bunch of different guys. And you can say that many, but hearing Penny's message and what he said to those guys, and I agreed with it because I heard him tell them that at one of the games. He was like, "Hey, you guys come in. Some of you guys didn't win. Buy into this. We're going to get after people defensively." John, you'll know this. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of Florida State. Big, athletic guys, not necessarily great shooters, right? And then they flying around. They were bought in earlier the year, the defensive end. Now, the reason we were so high on them was because Quinterly was playing really big-time point guard ball, distributing to everybody, finding everybody. Jones was a closer. He was playing bully ball, destroying everybody. It was like, oh, my God. Like, this group is legit. It didn't matter earlier. And then now we're changing it, because one other thing is, like I said, teams, you're in conference play now, and now they're scheming you. So now they're just like, say, we're playing zone. We know in the American. So you get these other high major programs, and they feeling like, all right, we're going to play the way we play. And then you line up, play them man-to-man. You realize, like, damn, Memphis got some athletes. They got some dudes. But now you in conference play, everybody in that league outside of FAU is probably going to be like, nah, we don't have the athletes to deal with these dudes. We got to start scheming, and we got to start zoning them. And that's what it is. They're like, look, we're not guarding you. Jordan, we ain't coming out there. We ain't picking up certain guys. Find out where Joan is. Even Quinterly isn't shooting the great, and they need him to distribute. So the quarter's just shrunk. And then you starting to bicker. You bickering a little bit. The ball isn't moving. You getting frustrated. And I'm not absolving anybody with that. That's on Penny. That's on all these guys. Again, I wasn't off them because I thought it was a one-off, and they fix it. They doubled down on the same mistakes tonight that they made last game. And now, all right, now you do it twice. Now I'm concerned. There's a reason to be concerned.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.